Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Knowledge Bolide Hangout for July 7th, 2021. The usual suspects are in the room, and we have some guest videos as well. Before we get into the show and tell and education, I wanted to announce that the Knowledge Bolide is growing tremendously. So we just crossed the threshold today of 150 hours of Knowledge Bolide is consumed every single day. 150 hours. Congratulations, guys.
Cool.
So with that comes a lot of comments, and I wanted to respond to a lot of comments all at once. So if you will bear with me, I will give you a little bit of information that will clear up a lot of comments that I'm not going to cut and paste to a million people. So I'm a meteorite specialist. That's what I call myself. I call myself that because I only buy, sell, study, and quite frankly, know about meteorites. I don't collect impactites. I don't collect terrestrial rocks, no minerals, no World War II memorabilia. I can't identify terrestrial material because I'm not a trained geologist. That's why they go to college. It is true that I have my high school diploma, and that is where my official education has ended. I have never once implied otherwise, but I have mentioned several times that I'm highly motivated to learn about things I'm passionate about, meteorites. I also have referred to myself as an international meteorite educator and a community builder, and I wanted to explain what those are a little bit. On the YouTube channel, we have about 200 hours of accurate scientific information about meteorites. It may be one of the biggest vaults of information out there. I'm not sure. I'm not the best, and I don't know it all. And I call out my crew all the time. I'm not a crew leader. I'm a crew member. But I have many international contributors and commenters and fans. And I share what I learn. I share what I learn. I share what other people know, and I document it all on YouTube for anyone interested in learning. I am pretty well connected in the meteorite community and generally well thought of. There are a few people that don't like me, but that's going to happen. So hopefully that explains a little bit of why I call myself a meteorite specialist when I haven't gone to college. There is no college degree in meteoritics. You can get earth sciences, chemistry, geology, those type of things, and astrophysics. Put them all together and make yourself a meteorite, documented expert. But so I hope that kind of clears up a little of the misconceptions or misunderstandings out there. And I see that Pat Brown has joined us as well. So that's great news. I will kick it right over to any questions or topics for discussion, or if anyone has anything to show off.
Yeah, Coco. I was looking behind you. I see something rotating in the background. I was wondering if that was a small asteroid.
I got my lights all set up behind me today. Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out because it is a brand new meteorite for me, and it is a main mass. And even more importantly, it's a personal find of a friend of the Knowledge Bolide. This is, oh man, I should have brought the label with me. Tazzarine 002, I think. This is Juan Aviles from Jurassic Dreams. This is his first personal meteorite find ever.
Wow.
I think it's an H5. I honestly just got it yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to get with Chris Monk about how to slice it. But yeah, so that's 3.7 kilos, something like that.
Is that the main mass?
Yeah, this is the main mass, and it's kind of funny because I had this in my house after whoops. Dang it. I had this in my house after Tucson 2019, I think. I had the whole stone just minus the lab sample. And this went back to Spain, and then I bought it. So now it's back here at my house.
Well traveled.
A lot of mileage.
And this is one that Juan is actually kind of, it's near and dear to his heart. It's his first find, and it's classified. So he said that it's my meteorite. I can do what I want with it. But if there's anything left, he will buy it back for more than a reasonable price.
Wow.
So, yeah, so got that sitting up there for right now. I'm going to shoot it over to my presentation unless someone interrupts me for presenting something. All right, so we are having our 57th Hangout in a row. And let's see what we got going on. It's official, guys.
Yeah, hit the Met Ball.
Ooh.
Winchcombe is official. It finally hit the Met Bowl, which is the Bible for meteorite classifications. If it doesn't exist in the Meteorite Bulletin, it may exist, but it's not official. I happen to know of like a rare palisite that is so rare it's not being sent in for classification, the Tibet palisite. So it does exist and it is real. But if you look here, this is actually one of the classifying scientists, Dr. Richard Greenwood, and he was the one who actually met with the family in the driveway. So he's talking about the meteor. He's actually calling an open call to the public to come out and meteorite hunt with him in the UK. Any meteorites recovered in the hunt will be properly classified by the experts. It'll be signed, named by the International Nomenclature Committee, and then the Meteorological Society is going to publish it in the Met Bowl. And it goes on talking about the finder's name is going to be 20 gram sample to science. So everything we discuss is open for anyone in the UK who wants to search for real meteorites with a real meteorite expert, a documented expert, Richard Greenwood. I just want to also point out that it is the first meteorite in 30 years in the UK. And then there are...
wait, on eBay, there's so many of them.
Well, there are 23 now. This number needs to be updated, but there's 23 known British meteorites, UK meteorites, and they're listed there. I was doing some research on UK meteorites. Some of you might know that. And I just thought this information was really interesting to look at. If you look at this column over here, fall, all of these are confirmed falls. Starting back in 1623, all the way to 2021, Winchcombe. Of the 23 documented meteorites, only 4 of them were found. The other ones were witnessed and hunted for. So I just think that's really crazy numbers. And then if you look, we actually have the weight on Winchcombe, less than or about a half a kilo. Woo.
Yep. Yeah, the UK is really not a particularly great place to go meteorite hunting. They don't have any deserts that I'm aware of. And there are not great open public lands like we have in the Western United States.
Yeah.
It's very wet there too. Extremely wet.
Very wet.
Cold.
Yep. So meteorites don't last very long before they're unrecognizable. Yep.
Also, this is kind of interesting. If you take a look at the classifications, it's pretty well dispersed. This is, in the 1600s, they didn't actually classify. It was just classified as a stone. But you see a lot of L6s, LLs, L material, L, a couple H's. That's absolutely as expected. And you see some anomaly ones like an iron, a winonite, and then a Hamilton palisite. Those are the anomalous ones. And then we have brand new Winchcombe, so it's a pretty good display, I think, of the spectrum of meteorites. It's not like slanted towards anything in particular, you know?
Did these meteorites fall during a meteorite shower that they could link them to?
No.
No.
Pat, go for it.
Sorry.
Yeah,
no,
I need to take a drink.
It turns out that you know, the meteor showers that we see, the periodic ones, are a result of Earth passing through the tail, or not the tail, but the trail of particles released from the comets. And we've not really completely proven it yet, but we think for the most part that the dirt on the dirty snowball, which makes up the comet, is largely carbonaceous material, and you know, not terribly strong, because it's very well you know, it's been exposed to water, ice, and CO2 ices. So to my knowledge, there's never been a meteorite recovered that was from a particular meteorite shower or meteor shower. And we have to remember too that when you see a meteor, the light part in the atmosphere, if it just goes and leaves no trail behind it, that's something smaller than a grain of sand. And when they go quickly and leave just a little white wisp behind them, that's a grain of sand. So the vast majority of what we see for periodic meteor showers are extremely small and have not been recovered, to my knowledge. Thank you, Deborah.
That's more of the cosmic dust and collecting with aerogel stuff, you know, behind the comet tail.
Exactly.
Let me see here. So, but we want to. So, I think this is good just good history and just good information to know. But it's also correlates to, yeah. Someone listed earlier, mentioned earlier that there's a guy in the UK who is very, very good at finding meteorites that don't exist. And I've been buying all his rocks, and he immediately cancels the order and relists them. He won't even send me a sample at my dime, so to prove him wrong. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But we want to check in right now with Domyan, our Croatian crew member, and we know that Domyan does phenomenal photography. All right, so let's check out Domyan's video.
Hello from sunny Croatia. In this week's installment of Meteorite macro photography, let me show off a couple of my carbonaceous chondrites. But let me start with something a bit different. This beautiful end cut is my first Mesosiderite. For meteorite this old, the surface looks great, especially in cross-polarized reflected light. Here we can see pure cut surface reflectivity, clearly showing metal flakes and polished silicates. The surface looks completely different in cross-polarized light, this time showing only the surface color, without reflectivity information. Enjoy a couple of close-up details at my highest magnification. Full field of view is a bit over 2 mm wide.
Wow. And that's on a really weathered Mesosiderite too.
As there are bubbles in this very clear inclusion, I'm still not sure if it's some kind of glass or perhaps epoxy used in meteorite preservation. It certainly looks great diving into it.
Oh.
Let's move on to CCs, starting with
Hold
my
on,
tiny
we're not going to move on just yet. That's photo stacking right there. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. The first close-up that he did of that amber colored crystal showed a really cool pattern of the the water droplets or liquid droplets of some sort in that crystal in a very ordered XY there.
Mhm.
At about 9 o'clock, see how orderly those are. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so that's not going to be amorphous glass. It's actually a crystal, and seeing those kind of liquid inclusions is not as rare as you might think.
That's wild. You'd never think about water and meteorites. That's beautiful. Just is amazing focus. And actually terminations of the crystals.
As there are bubbles in this.
Wow. That's tremendous. This is why the back
Let's move on to CCs, starting with my tiny Murchison. I don't think there is any need to remind you of the scientific significance of this meteorite, and for that reason it's certainly one of the most valued specimens in my collection. Cross-polarized light really boosts the contrast on carbonaceous chondrite. This nice, relatively fresh CM2 was my first carbonaceous purchase almost 3 years ago, but I've repolished the surface and taken some photos with my upgraded setup. I love the CM2s, not only for the size, but they look striking, almost like night sky.
God, he does good work.
Here again are a few high magnification details. The lighting and focus stacking helps them look 3D.
That's complex.
This interesting inclusion is by far the brightest. I don't know if it's a chondrule or CI. What is interesting is there appears to be what looks like vesicles. This almost looks like a very tiny barred olivine chondrule. Next is another tiny CM2 meteorite I got as a gift from Sean Mahoney.
Whoa. Wow. He just keeps zooming.
Lastly, here are my tiny Orgueil micros in a box with my custom insert. This photo was taken with my old setup with normal lighting. This is with my new setup with cross-polarized lighting and utilizing microscope objectives. This white stuff on the surface I believe to be weathering products. Here is another fragment. Keep in mind that it's about millimeter wide. I'll leave you with this cool pseudo 3D animation.
Wow,
Cool.
that's cool.
I hope you enjoyed the photographs and hopefully see you again next week.
Oh my God. He does such great work. I do want to highlight one thing because Pat mentions this on every Hangout and we talk about cross-polarized lighting. And what you're seeing here is the meteorite slice looking directly down at it with your eye. And every photon that's bouncing around off of the metal and off of the silica is bouncing into your eye. Once you align the light, so you get none of the reflective light, you get all that polarized out, this is what you're left with.
Yeah, there you go.
Amazing.
That's a funny shot. Yeah.
So we constantly talk about, go ahead, Pat.
No, sorry, it gives the illusion of being able to see down into the stone, or to be able to see down in through, and well, seeing through desert varnish is very real, but it really gives a 3D effect, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. If you look at this crystal, I haven't looked at this myself, but if you look at this crystal, you can see all the layers in there. Mm-hmm. Now let's go back to before cross-polarized, just in reflective light, and you can see it right there.
That's up top.
But
you can see some lines there that correspond to those planes in the crystal, but yeah, you see none of the crystal.
Yeah, all those lines look surface level until you put on the cross-polarized light. So that's the power of the cross-polarized light that we always talk about and tout here. So that's I think that was a really good example, Domyan. So thank you very much for sending that video, and much love to you in Croatia, buddy. Thank you. Cameron Smith has his hand up. Let's see here.
How's it going?
Very well.
All right, so the first thing I have is a gift and an explanation from Mike Kelly. So if you would be so kind.
Sure, yes. So that is reticulite. So that is an extreme form of basaltic, like pumice. So pumice usually is more from like a Mount St. Helens type volcano. Reticulite forms when you get basalt in a big fountain coming out of a volcano that's a shield volcano, like Hawaii. And that's actually from Hawaii right there. And basically there's so much gas inside of there that all you really have for rock is a little film of basaltic magma around each of the bubbles. That's so light that it'll float.
Cool.
So if you guys can see this, but that little gold part right there, it is, it's like foam. It feels like, or it looks like there's more air than material there, like you said. So yeah, it's crazy. It's got a nice black fusion crust looking shininess on it. Anyway, cool. We've been looking at that. Thank you, Mike. That was awesome.
That is like birthed in violence.
And
yeah, no problem. Enjoy.
Speaking of birthed in violence, I don't know if you can see the slight red tinge to the piece of Trinitite that Mike was so gracious to hook me up with.
Cool.
So I have the coveted red Trinitite. So once again, thank you, Mike. All right, and now
that is cool.
It's time to guess the identity of this little black speck.
Oh,
I'm not going to open it because I've already scared myself to death once.
Did you cut it?
No. I will give you one hint. It has already been mentioned in the meeting tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say Murchison.
Nope, not Murchison.
Ooh.
But it is a carbonaceous.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Orgueil?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, I know what it is.
Anybody else?
It's not Winchcombe, is it?
Oh. One of the lucky few.
God.
Wow.
So I am forced once again to thank Mike Kelly for hooking me up with the opportunity. If you want to see yours, Mike, I didn't open it to center it in there, but that one's yours. It will be in the mail to you soon.
Looks good to me.
Oh, man.
So
that one is extremely historic and scientifically important. I was surprised in the Met Bowl, they only classified it as CM2. They made some mention of other lithologies and possibly some CM1 material, but they were surprisingly vague about it.
I honestly haven't had a chance to read it yet.
Yeah, I
think
got a
there's
feeling
lot
there's going to
more
be some
coming.
papers coming out on it with the extra details.
Cameron, I am
there's-
super jealous. Like peanut butter and jelly.
yeah, I was ecstatic when Mike messaged me. He was like, "You're not going to believe this," but
Wow.
It's
So-
one of only 23 meteorites, 25 or yeah,
And
that's
there's
amazing.
a-
Wow, congrats guys to both of you.
Total of 547 grams of that stuff on the planet.
Yeah, crazy.
Christmas came early.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pause it for a sec if you don't mind.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really super cool because we came from. I actually was very fortunate enough with Juan Aviles' help to do an interview of the family that fell in the driveway. So super pumped that now it's actually in the hands of collectors. What tiny little bits of there are that were able to be collected and now remember they donated everything that fell in their driveway to science. I think it was like 60 grams, and we know the value of that 60 grams, guys. So that's amazing they did that.
Yeah, and it's good to keep details. So that's from April 1st find near Bishop's Cleeves.
Cool.
So that's the date and all the information to go with it, Cameron.
Oh, that is actually written on your COA.
Yep.
That's fantastic, man. I'm pretty jealous, to be honest with you guys. I had to settle for dirt from their lawn, but I'm happy with that. And they made sure I know, like, you understand there's not a chance there's meteorite in this dirt. I'm like, yes, I understand, and I want it. Let's go to Chris Monk, Rocks on the Ground, real quick, see what he has for us.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
I have a couple of things to show. So the first one I'm going to show, you guys follow me online. I did some cutting today.
Sweet.
This is one that Topher posted about a week or two ago that had just arrived in the mail.
I think
This
I
is
actually
beautiful.
showed it off on the last Hangout.
Yeah, nice. There's some
Yeah, maybe last week.
armored chondrules in there and a
Vesicles,
vein of
deep dark black.
melt possibly there.
Anybody remember what it is?
That's Tamdackle?
Nope. It's from Russia.
Oh,
I like this side better.
Oh,
Look at that.
Tsarev?
There you have it.
There you go. Tsarev.
Zara.
So this actually is not polished yet. I haven't polished any of them. I actually coated this just for the Hangout because if you look at the other ones, they're not nearly as clear to see because they were just cut today. I didn't have an opportunity to polish it, but that will come off when I do polish them.
Oh man,
Nice.
I'm excited about that. Like you don't know. Look at that melt vein in there.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And the vesicle near center too, just right of center.
Yeah.
There's one of them that had a large, I mean, when I'm saying large, I don't remember. Oh, here it is.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Like
Yeah.
just it goes all the way through.
Oh.
Both sides. Nice.
Topher knows which slice he wants.
Yes, sir. Holy macadamia nuts.
Yeah, and I posted a video online today when I was cutting, and somebody actually pointed that out. They were like, "Hey, that looks like it has a vesicle in it," and I was like, "Yeah, can you see the water squirting out of the center of the stone?" So that was really cool. The next one I have, this I just received in the mail. And while
Ooh.
I was out there cutting today, I just didn't have the heart to cut it yet. It's gonna be cut, and it's not gonna be classified, and I'm gonna sell it as unclassified. But it was too beautiful. Like look at that crust right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The contraction
It was, yeah, it was too beautiful to cut today. And I'm a little bit worried about it being crumbly. I am very likely to believe that this is HEB. I'm leaning towards one of the letters, but I want everybody else's opinion.
I have a distinct opinion myself, but I'll wait
Give it
for
to
someone
me.
else to ring in. It looks like the beautiful rubble pile that we call Howardites.
That's where I'm leaning.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess. It's a very, very concrete like.
Well, and I can tell you that in the like shipping, it kind of, some of the pieces kind of crumbled. So yeah, it made me nervous to cut it. I was almost thinking maybe I should coat it before I cut it. Like I'm not for sure, but this is super beautiful. It's not big enough to, I don't think it's worth it to classify, but
what is it, like about 100, 110 grams, something like that?
If I remember right, and I'd have to look it up, but I want to say it's like 160 grams.
Okay.
Did you put a UV light on there to see if anything in there fluoresces?
I have not.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I will though.
Short wave, especially the short wave.
Do Howardites have a lot of fluorescent material over more other meteorite types?
I have not heard of one that fluoresces, but it's certainly worth checking. All I have seen or heard of for fluorescing or abrites, and I keep asking somebody to put a UV light on the new abrite from Northwest Africa, and still no news. But you know, you might, Chris, you might reconsider getting that one classified, because Topper, that's sliced and classified and sliced. That's, would it hit 15 a gram?
Yeah, if they turn out really well and you have a good buyer that knows the value of it, it's easily $12 to $15, especially like that end cut or as you cut it, because this is more kind of like a congealed pile of rocks. I would say if you're gonna get it classified, I would just start cutting it and then wait for 20 grams to fall off. Make sure it's a good representation of the piece. You have to have a big enough piece for them to make a thin section of. But quite honestly, with something like this, where you're going to give 20% or 20 grams, which is basically 20%,
Wow.
yeah, that would be my way of proceeding probably. But it's also beautiful the way it is.
Yeah, and that's why, like, as I was out there hacking up rocks today, I was like, I can't do it. I need to work my way into this.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
absolutely gorgeous.
I'm hardly
the next one
any of this, but I think every rock deserves to be studied carefully before you cut it.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
So my next one is for Pat and his fresh haircut. I was told this is, probably an L3. It looked really good from the pictures. Today, when I cut it, I was dancing around my driveway.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
There you have it.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Get
So
that under the cross poles.
Beautiful.
Oh,
got some pretty good sized chondrules in there. Yeah, check it with a magnet for pole, but I think that has a very reasonable chance of being an LL3.
I firmly believe that it's an LL. If I can do this without not, I mean, it has a little bit of pull.
Yeah, that's,
but like it's so slight.
Yeah, that's going to be an LL, and so you know, there's the clues from low attraction to the magnet, but also the size of the chondrules.
Yeah.
And look at that bad boy.
H's, L's, and L's.
Beautiful.
Ending size.
What's that big one in the upper right-hand corner?
Yeah, white one.
Yeah.
White chondrule.
What is that?
The only question is how much matrix there is, which could push it to an LL4, but LL3s and LL4s are both still quite good. That's a beauty.
Well, and when you look at this under magnification, even the matrix parts have chondrules in them.
That's what you want. Beautiful.
They're just smaller chondrules.
Cool.
And I can show you so the end cut, I mean, it wasn't anything. I mean, you can kind of see some of the rubbed off chondrules in it. This one, where's it at? I don't know where the other end cut is, but here it is.
Oh, nice.
You can kind of see some of the chondrules poking through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, maybe I should buy that. But I mean,
oh, look
just
at that.
from the very
Right.
first slice
Yeah.
to the last slice, this thing is just delicious. Just
Yeah, okay.
every part of it.
On that last end cut, I could see better, and yeah, I agree. There's not much matrix there at all. I think that'll be an LL3.
Wow.
I could show you these all day long.
How much weight do you have?
Total weight was like 150 grams.
Nice.
I ended up with about 14 slices.
Nice.
They're not super thin, but I was a little bit afraid of it being crumbly, but it was not crumbly at all. It just held together. I think it's going to take a really good polish, and I'm just super excited about it. It was a great score.
Oh, you
Those
should
these
be.
beautiful slices, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can see in this one, you can see probably is one of the ones with the most metal in it. It just has like little flakes here and a little.
Yeah, very, very little.
Yeah, that's another indicator of LL3s is they, you know, they're low metal total, but the metal tends to be widely scattered in larger webs. So yeah, that. Ooh, even got one with a dark inclusion.
Mhm.
Yeah, I almost like when you look at that one up close, it almost looks carbonaceous.
Yeah, it probably is carbonaceous, and that's one more indicator of an LL3 is carbonaceous inclusions. Yeah, you scored on that one. That
Yeah.
is very, very nice.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping for at the Meteorite Mansion. Every rock we cut open.
No, there's more black inclusion. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, you got a nice one.
You got a winner on your hands on this one, dude.
Oh yeah, this one I was literally dancing out in my driveway. It was the only thing that made me feel better after spending all the time cutting the other one, because that stone was a pain. It was super hard. Tsarev was a pain. I mean, it was super hard. The cutting was super slow. It broke off 3 times while I was cutting it. And like, if you've ever cut a stone before and tried to realign it to the blade and get a straight cut, I mean, you just have to kneel down and pray to the stone cutting gods, because it was just a pain, and it did it 3 times.
Wow.
So when
I'm
finally got to this one, I was just super excited.
Yeah, that's a very, very clear win.
Man, yeah, I'm super pumped about that big slice of Tsarev, man. That is with the vesicle all the way through it. That's what I still can't get over that.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Dude, these are beautiful slices.
It will definitely that one will definitely get set aside. I will not let anybody sneak it away from me. I'll get it to you.
Nice.
Since you own it all anyway.
Yeah, I've been using Chris to cut some stuff for me and help get him some experience, and it's working out pretty well for both of us.
Nice.
I want you to cut one of mine and find that stuff inside, though.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Chris.
Anyway,
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Well done, dude. Really
Good
appreciate
work.
Great, very nice.
Thank you.
Excellent.
A few people a little bit ago mentioned fluorescence in meteorites. So I think it's actually a really good lead-in to our guest video from Randy Tatum this week. I will be very honest with you. I barely clicked through this, but I know it's about fluorescent minerals in his breccia, impact breccia that he collected himself. So this is, I think, check-in number 3.
Hello, this is Randy Tatum in Richmond, Virginia, and wanted to show you some examples of fluorescence and phosphorescence in a few impact rocks that I've collected. The rock on the right is from Serpent Mound Meteor Crater in southeastern Ohio, and it's got a nice crystalline area. And the one on the top is from Panther Mountain, upstate New York, and the one on the left is from Wells Creek, Tennessee, and that's west of Nashville, about 50 miles. And the one on the center bottom is from Alamo. It's an Alamo breccia from Alamo, Nevada, which is north of Las Vegas and not far from Area 51. So let me turn on the UV lamp. So I'm going to pause it for a moment. Okay, let's see. It's got good. The one from Serpent Mound's got really good fluorescence, but to see how it does. I turn it off. Oh, really good afterglow.
That's wild.
So that's with the short wave UV. Try it again.
Shortwave.
Well, that's really nice. And let's try one more time. And then we'll try the long wave UV. And there's just
nothing.
Fluorescence, but not any phosphorescence. All right, let's try the other. And so it looks nice yellow fluorescence, but no afterglow. That's the one Alamo. So you can see the matrix in the Wells Creek is lighting up, but no afterglow. And finally, pretty one from Panther Mountain.
Oh, I was hoping that was glow.
Can't see any afterglow. So the camera is just not picking up what the eye can see, because I can see afterglow in all of them. So at any rate, that's one thing I found. A lot of the impact rocks have good phosphorescence. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.
Wow. When I was with
hello, this is Randy
when
Tatum.
I was with Pat in Tucson, Pat's a big mineral guy as well, and fluorescent and phosphorescent. What's the other that emits?
Phosphorescent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've actually learned quite a bit about this stuff, but yeah. So at UV is in the short end of the spectra, or the high energy end of the spectra, and so when you couple in light at a UV frequency, you excite something in the rock, it down converts the light to a different color and sends it out. The phosphorescence, where it glows in the dark for a while afterwards, it energizes an intermediate state, and that intermediate state has a storage function to it, and it takes a little while longer for it to bleed off. That's really quite beautiful.
Yeah, the first time I saw it was, I mean, obviously we've all seen glow in the dark stuff, but to actually see the mineral where they get, that from was pretty interesting. Does anyone have anything they'd like to show off? All right.
I would just like to offer an update. So I went and found my blacklight and put that possible Howardite under blacklight. It does not fluoresce.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, this just in, breaking news.
So the other area you get fluorescence a lot of times in minerals is the CAIs and carbonaceous. Those sometimes will have minerals in there that fluoresce.
Interesting.
Happy birthday, Jules. She had her
Thank you. It was a couple weeks ago.
she had her birthday a few weeks ago, and old lives matter.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm up there.
I figured it applies to us more than it does you. So, but
I'm really close to your age. Real close.
Well,
might as well be there.
Jules put together a slideshow of tremendous pictures of meteorites she got for her birthday from loved ones.
It's not all of them. It's a few.
Beautiful. Admire.
Yep. 24.22 grams. That's my first display palisite.
Yeah, it's beautiful etch on that slice too.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, it is gorgeous, and it's a lot different when you're able to see it in person versus seeing it on video or photos. It's cool. I'm sure you guys all know the next one. But yeah, it's my first palisite. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Udei Station, 49.34 grams.
Okay.
It's a iron IAB ungrouped.
Wow, you sound pro already.
I'm trying. That's the unetched side, and the other side was the etched. I like them both. Wow, I don't even know what to say. I just think they're beautiful. Just both of them are beautiful.
This slice right here, hold on, we got to go back. This slice was actually in my personal collection.
Yeah.
And I got lost in this one many a time. It's just so complex. There's
it is
so
very
much going on in there.
Yeah, the cracks in the rock with the veins of metal flowing through them in between the fractured surfaces.
It's beautiful.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody know what the little black carbon-like flakes are that are scattered throughout? I've seen this also in an Odessa slice I have. But those little black specks that are everywhere, does anybody know what those are?
Like this right here?
Yes.
Okay. That would be a Mike Kelly or Pat Brown question.
I would venture a guess of maybe chromite, but it's hard on just without getting it under a scope or getting sim on it.
Good job, Mike. I don't have a clue.
Gotcha.
No, it was really fun to get pieces that I didn't have to do anything with. This is a Sericho, 40.4 grams palisite. My husband wants me to cut this in half because he wants half of it. Whether or not I'm going to do it, I'm not sure.
It's a community property state.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's never asked me to cut anything except for this one. He really likes the pallasites, and I have a feeling I'm going to have to purchase one for him now as a gift, which is really surprising. But yeah, I've never cut a palisade, so it's going to sit here for a while till I gather more information on if I even can do it. I just want to do it properly without wrecking it. I don't want to wreck it.
Yeah.
So
do we have any recommendations for her other than stay straight and go slow? She has a nice.
I'd use a thin blade. I wouldn't use a coarse blade.
I'm sure that Mike Kelly probably has some better recommendations, but if you want to view the trial by error, I have 3 pieces of Sericho that I'm going to be restoring or getting some of the rust off. So I'm going to clean them up and then I'm going to cut them in half. It's a little Sericho nugget just like that. So hopefully I will post a video and you can learn from my errors.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'd love it because I'm sick of learning from my own, you know. That'd be great.
And that's what the Knowledge Bolide crew is all about, sharing and hopefully not destroying, but helping meteorites last longer and bringing out their inner beauty. Just so you know, Jules, I'm not going to mention Tim by name, but he wanted that one specifically because it was cuttable. So
I figured.
I'm not gonna make that sway your decision in any way, but let me just say, I showed him, that's the one that he commented on. So, you know, no pressure, no pressure.
Oh, thanks a lot.
So, awesome. Great video, and thanks for sharing. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much. They're awesome.
Yeah, every week we love having you. Thanks, Jules.
It's not me. It's not me. It's Vladimir.
Was it Vladimir's question?
Vladimir is asking about making jewelry.
Ooh, okay.
So good evening, everyone. So I'm new to this channel and to this whole community as its own. So I've been trying to look for a hard enough material that's not out of this planet, like meteorite, to use it as a center stone for some of the jewelry that could be made, whether it's custom or could be a line of products. I need some help here to figure out what type of meteorites are not as expensive, but at the same time durable enough to get them cut properly and polished by adding some faucets, because there isn't much out there, you know, when it comes to semi-precious stones or meteorite type jewelry, and whatever is out there, it doesn't really, it's not within the trend of
the only thing I have is I got a little Campo ring. That's about it, though.
Yeah.
There's I've seen olivines that have come out of pallasites that have been faceted, that were clean enough that they faceted them into actual jewelry or faceted stones for jewelry. So that's an option.
Olivine is really the only crystal that you get from outer space. Different grades of it, I suppose. But
right. But I've seen impactites, like especially moldavite, being used for earrings, necklaces, things like that. With pallasites, you get the crystals out because the olivine is very similar to peridot. Gibeon is a common iron that I've seen in jewelry, different kind, made into rings. I've seen them as watch faces. I've also seen them made into knife blades, and wasn't there like a Gibeon gun or something like that?
Yeah, I think sold for $1 million.
And they're not that expensive, right? Like price per gram, I would say.
Gibeon is a little more expensive than some of the irons. It's the one, you know, when you see really high-end watches, when you see Rolexes and such with
it has a really nice witness pattern, and it's stable. It doesn't rust that much.
Yeah,
you definitely want to go Gibeon.
Yeah, Gibeon is extremely stable, and sometimes for jewelry they'll use Muanya lusta. but it pretty much has to be palladium plated, cleaned up really well and palladium plated before you can use it. Expect it to be stable.
If you're, to echo what everyone's saying, if you're looking at making a quality iron meteorite ring, Gibeon over Muniana Lusta every single day. When it comes to actually shaping a meteorite into a stone for a ring, it can be done. It can be done, and it has been done. And I'm going to put you in contact with John Humphreys. Is he with AZ Meteorites, I believe? He bought his wife a engagement ring and the wedding ring, and they fit together. One of them is a lunar meteorite, and the other one's a Martian meteorite, and they're both faceted and are both in the ring. And it's the only one that we know of on Earth. It's beautiful. But
that's what I mean. There isn't much out there. There isn't much out there, and a lot of my customers always ask me, "Give me something different. Give me something different." And this could be the gold mine, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if you guys are totally involved and you guys have products that you guys also sell, and we can coordinate back and forth with business, like I need a trusted supply if I'm gonna decide to go that route. And you guys are, the team itself, I'm gonna call it as a team because there's a lot of members, there's a lot of regulars, right? So there's something we could.
And then I would also have some suggestions as far as, because pretty much everyone knows me and my belief in carving up a meteorite for art. I'm usually against it. Like if someone wants to get a meteorite and carve it into a Buddha statue or something like that, I'm not into it. I don't like spheres myself. I don't like eggs. I like a meteorite to be its natural state. But there are a bunch of chondrites, just stony meteorites. And if you get an H something, it has a high metal content. You're going to have a lot of spark and a lot of bling. So as meteorite collectors earlier, we were jonesing out on Chris's meteorite because it has no metal. It's so primitive. Okay. That's not what you want. You want the other one that he showed, this Tsarev, the dark slice with all the rich metal in it, because that's what's going to show off to you once you polish it, once you globe it, or do whatever you want to do to it. That's where the bling is going to come from, is that nickel iron metal inside the meteorite.
Tsarev, right? It's called Tsarev.
Tsarev.
Tsarev, I think. Tsarev.
That's right.
Yeah, the problem with using those types of meteorites in jewelry, though, is that they contain iron in the metallic state, and iron rusts like crazy, whether it's from sweat from your hands or just from exposure to a high humidity environment. So the chondrite meteorites are really not terribly well suited for jewelry. Some people have used them and painted them with some sort of a sealant, so that's possible. As far as fine jewelry, the only thing that I know of are the olivines from pallasites. So that in pallasites, the crystals that you see that go from green to yellow to a honey color to brown and to darker brown, those are chemically the same as earth olivine, with the exception that the meteorite one has a substitution in the lattice for magnesium or iron, and so you get the darker colors more towards dark brown with more iron. But the ones that come out of pallasites generally are shocked and fractured, and they're the two guys on TV that did the Meteorite Man shows, Notgun and
Steve Arnold.
Steve Arnold, thank you.
Steve Arnold, yeah.
They attempted to do that and had a bunch of them faceted up, and I don't think that business really went anywhere. And
no, in fact, if you recall earlier in tonight, we were looking at Jules' picture of her palisite, her slice of admire, and it was just all fractured. Well, they got this large admire and said, well, there's got to be beautiful gem quality peridot what's the word? Olivine, thank you. There's got to be that in there. So they dropped it in a vat of acid to dissolve the meteorite and leave this bucket of gem quality peridot that they could sell for, thousands of dollars per carat. And when they got what is just a bunch of rubble, it's all fractured and cracked and not, so kind of summarize, I would say steer clear of palladites for jewelry, and let every meteorite is going to need to be sealed pretty much. So you're going to have to take that into consideration at some point in the journey.
It has to be waterproof because otherwise, yeah, the metals will definitely corrode and rust. And
yeah. I wasn't. All right, I'll show you guys. My wife never watches these things, so I know I'm safe. All right. Let me show you my wife's anniversary present. Here we go. So.
Oh,
nice.
And what's
right on time.
Is,
perfect. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh, let me take it out of the box. Okay.
And that spins, right? Yes, yes, yes. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. There's nothing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite beautiful.
Yeah.
One side is
Beautiful piece.
One side isn't.
It's beauty. It's hard to hear you, Topher.
First show that she watches. So yeah, I like certain kind of meteorite jewelry, but I'm not a big fan of taking a whole meteorite just to make a piece of art. But there's definitely some good quality meteorites that you can work with. But yeah, you're always in the conundrum of a collector. Earth is a very inhospitable, harsh place to a meteorite. It's wet. There's this weird, nasty stuff called oxygen everywhere. There's greasy fingers all over them. And then swimming pools, and the rest. So thanks for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. And thanks for your questions. See,
actually,
anyone's welcome to join us.
Aerolite does have some of the palladot. They're calling it palladot on their website. Looks like roughly about $5,000 a carat.
Which is a fifth of a gram.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
They got it's basically like really tiny pieces, but
I have like a 12-gram olivine nugget, and I would love to facet that or see what the hell is inside, see how clear it is. But it's probably like every other Admire olivine. It's not going to be anything different. It's going to be kind of fractured and stuck together. But
that's doable. That's doable. But is there a place where you can get it graded, certified that it is what you're claiming to be? Is there because for gemstones there's GIA, right? Globally known laboratory that everybody knows of. So for
I'm actually gonna go into a slide that talks about the excuse me, exactly what you're asking right now. So let me do this real quick. Not that slide, but this slide. Can you guys see that? Or nope. There you go. Now you can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, we use the the METBull, the Meteorological Bulletin. It's a database online, and it's where all official meteorites are published. And earlier, when I was showing the slides on the UK meteorites, that's information that I got from that database. So you're going to want to make sure, if you want to verify what you're getting, that it's classified, and it's on the METBull, and you're buying it from someone that you trust, that that's actually what they're describing. Because there are a lot of people out there who try to take advantage of people, and eBay is one of the places they use, unfortunately. This is
Apollo 17 fragment. Yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah.
So we obviously see the immediate problem with this one. There's no way in the world that you can have an Apollo sample, a return sample. And people are just very unscrupulous when this is from an eBay listing right here. You can actually see that they put in the entire chemical breakdown of it. Well, it took me less than 7 minutes to find out the exact meteorite they copied it from. It is a 61-gram Antarctic lunar.
Oh.
And it matches their chemistry identically. When I asked what lab performed the test, they discontinued any communication. So the Meteoritical Bulletin is a good place that contains all the scientific information and all the chain of authenticity information. Now, people ask me sometimes, why do I bust on scammers? And this is another prepared official release answering a lot of questions on the YouTube comments. Why do I bust on scammers? Well, first, I hate seeing people getting ripped off and being made a fool of. Imagine if you were really super proud of the meteorite and you showed it off to a bunch of friends for a year and you found out it wasn't a meteorite. You feel like a punk. I don't want anyone to feel that way. And I hate seeing people profit from fraud. I hate to see buyers actually miss out on the chance of buying a real meteorite. And yes, possibly for me. If that's greedy, that's me. I am not controlling or attempting to control the global meteorite inventory. I am not that powerful. The knowledge bolide has not bolited that much yet. So I'm just trying to ID fakes. Now, and another reason why we bust on scammers is because it's fun. Let's face it, after hours and hours, we're science-driven men, and we dig through science for hours and hours and hours. And every once in a while, we get a chance to come across someone who claims they have Apollo 17 return samples. I mean, that's just funny, and you got to bust on that, you know? But I always keep it on topic, and they try to take it personal.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that you can't own the Antarctic ones either, right?
No.
Correct.
Right, because ALH 84001 is up on eBay.
Well, there's pre-ban Antarctic and post-ban Antarctic, so there's a time period, where you can, but the majority of them you can't. Yes. Yeah.
Well, this is ALH 84001, and it says comma zero, so I assume that's the main mass, which is not. But that's the one that was the Martian one that created the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sitting in the Smithsonian.
Right. Okay, good, because I'm going to share my screen, you guys. This is on eBay right now.
The nice green one. It looks like malachite.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, malachite.
Oh my
God. It's a nice piece of malachite. I mean,
yeah, that is so malachite.
Yeah.
39 grand. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, and this person has like a bunch of stuff like that.
That's what really offends me the most is when they call me out by saying, by busting on the scammers, I'm showing my greed. Well, I've spent more than 400 hours in the past year hosting these hangouts. I'm not doing live sales when I'm doing these. I'm not selling meteorites when I'm doing these. I'm educating and I'm building a community. During the hangouts, I don't sell anything. I plug and give shout outs to other companies 10 times more than I mention my own company. I do it at the intro and maybe once it slips out. So now people also say that, that everyone else out there is my competition. And I just want to squash that because I don't really have competition. I don't do this for my living. I don't. And nobody can have everything. And everyone partners and helps each other. Today, Chris was cutting my Tsarev. Last week, Ron was stabilizing my irons. Next week, someone else is going to be doing something else for it. And that's just because we're all friends and we all share the same crazy passion for an obsession, So any comments about that?
I don't know of any meteorite dealers that don't recommend other meteorite dealers for things they don't have, or where they can help you out in any way. It's very, very friendly community.
Yeah, I've had that a number of times where I've talked to somebody and he's like, I don't have it, but talk to so-and-so because he's the one that, you know, he still has it, or he had the main part of whatever. Yeah, I sold out, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. And you know, there's lots of times when we can't afford to purchase something all ourselves. So we go in and we partner on things. And that's why you see co-main mass holders. That's a partnership. That's not competition. That's unity. That's what we are. That's what the community is about. And that's what we've been building here together. So I just wanted to take a little chance. Maybe it might be viewed as a rant and standing on my soapbox, and I apologize for taking so much time, but I'm tired of answering all the questions and comments. So I'm just starting to delete them and move on with my more important and happier life. Mike Kelly has some cool stuff to show us, no doubt.
So I wanted to pop out this box today. Rumurutites. So, little background, which I found neat, and I only figured this out today reading some abstracts. The Rumurutites weren't always the Rumurutites. Before they were officially classified as the Rumurutites, named after Rumuruti, which fell in Kenya in 1934. There were enough of them sitting around that they were calling the Carl Lake type meteorites, because there was a little Australian find called Carlisle Lake that was apparently more akin to it before they were retagged. But they're pretty cool because, and I know Pat's talked about them before, they're theorized to be mostly breccias from the surface, so kind of analogous to how a Howardite is the brecciated regolith material from Forvesto or Vestoid like meteorite or asteroid. The Rumurutites would be mostly the brecciated regolith from the surface of a chondritic asteroid. And they're kind of neat because they have they're a lot higher oxidation state than a lot of other meteorites, and they have a lot more sulfur content than a lot of the ordinary chondrites. So what I found neat was, because most of them are brecciated, it's rare to get something like an R3.6 where there's really not brecciation to material, and it's all just one petrology subtype. So that's one of four there. Got R3.8, which is a 1 of 9, and I got an R3.9, which is also a 1 of 4. Dang. So I'm missing 2. There's an R3.4 and there's an R3.7, and those are I've yet to run across those yet. I'm probably just as likely to find a real piece of Allen Hill's 84001 as I will getting those. But then you got stuff like there are anomalous ones. So this is the only R4 anomalous out there. So it's a 1 of 1, and it's Sierra Gorda. That's a pretty cool one. You get other ones that are also non-brecciated. So there's my R5. Got a R6 in there, which rounds out all those, along with an R4. There's an R4 in here somewhere. There we go. R4, which actually had a really funny story. So that's the R4 in there, and that's a MeteorWRONG that was sitting in there. And when I bought it, I looked at the piece, and it was a big multi-kilo bin to dig through, and I found the piece I wanted, and I saw that, and I went, to me, that looks terrestrial. And we ended up XRFing it, and it turned out to be terrestrial, and it got pitched over the fence, which I thought was incredibly funny. So afterwards, I went out in the parking lot and picked it up to add it to my display case because it made the story hilarious.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's the Rumurutites, and they're let's say there's not all that many of them out there. They're starting to figure out how to identify them and what they look like and finding them. So more to come, but definitely would be cool to finish off the set.
Excellent.
Well, they are beautiful. I actually love Rumurutites. I have, I forget the number on it, but I have a beautiful half stone and I have a whole stone that needs to be cut. So maybe I'll be hitting up Chris Monk for some cutting on that. Wanted to share with you guys this. Chris Monk, you cannot play. We're going to play a meteorite.
Wow.
Now this is better than most pictures you see online, right? So
Yeah.
I want to show people how hard it is to identify a possible meteorite or MeteorWRONG based on pure looks alone.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any opinions?
On this, Julie, I'll say it's a MeteorWRONG.
Yeah, MeteorWRONG.
Terrestrial, yeah.
Okay. So pretty much the consensus is it would be pitched over the fence, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God. What is it?
That's the next question. It's definitely a meteorite. So what class is it?
Mesosiderite.
That is correct.
Meso.
Well, I should say provisionally you are correct. It is being classified currently, but this is another example of my very cheap, because it doesn't exist, polarized, cross-polarized. See how you have reflective light, and then you can actually look inside and see it when there's no reflection.
Mm-hmm.
It's not nearly as drastic as it's not actually happening, but I'm, magnifying the reflective light. But yeah. And it has a huge contour right there. No, it doesn't. So Chris is going to be slicing this, I have a feeling. 110 grams. It's being classified currently. The main mass holder will be Juan Aviles. And I'm pretty pumped about it.
You know if they're pushing for subtype?
I really don't have all the information on it necessarily. I just know that, like I said, we're all partners and we're all friends. Juan reached out and said, hey, I have an opportunity that I need to capitalize on. Do you need any meteorites? And I was like, I always need more meteorites. I was like, you have any Mesosiderites? Like, got a beautiful one that's in classification. I also got my main mass that I never want to sell. I'll sell it to you because I know you'll sell it back to me. So call it a pawn shop. I don't know. So awesome. Any other comments or topics or show offs?
Yeah, there was a little bit of news that I saw. I'm going to share my screen so I can figure out, do that again. Okay. So this popped up in my news feed today. Sutter's Mill, they found liquid water with CO2 in it.
Oh.
More about learning about the ancient formation of the universe.
Wow.
So I just thought it was a pretty interesting article.
In Sutter's Mill?
In Sutter's Mill, yeah.
Wow. And we just had a bunch of Sutter's Mill in the Meteor of the Month thing. So everyone has it now, except me.
Yeah.
You don't even have a little piece?
Micros.
I don't think I have any. If I have any,
it's micro at least.
It's just a micro, but wow.
So
I was watching a promo, a documentary on YouTube last night, and it was about oxygen or water on the moon. And I just thought it was really interesting because it went through the timeline of discovery from the beginning of discovery all the way till now, and what probes have been sent there and what we gleaned from each one, which ones didn't give us any information, or which ones gave us information but was absolutely useless, didn't give us any usable decision-making they're trying to rule out some things, but yeah. So if you guys have any recommendations for other YouTube documentaries, we're definitely open to discuss that here or drop them in the chat. Does anyone else have anything to ask or show off? We have a late check-in with Vladimir, so let's go to him. What you got, buddy?
Quick question. That piece of jewelry that you showed us, I'm not familiar with the pricings because I was referring prices based on eBay, and from what I've learned from your team is that eBay is not the right source. So what would be the cost for such a piece of meteorite, let's say already pre-cut, or get like if I was to buy a slice, 5 millimeter in diameter, as an example, square or round?
I'll show you something really quickly to hopefully give you an idea. Now, what that was is, and I feel bad saying this because I already announced it's a present from my wife. It's part of her anniversary present, but it's really cheap. Okay, it is made in China. It's not gold. I basically bought it so she can model it and enjoy it, and I use it for my marketing. So I would definitely not recommend doing what I did and buying a cheap thing off eBay, because you get what you pay for. That with shipping from China was $52. And it'll probably last about $52 worth, and then I'll have a little centerpiece that's off on its own. But what I would definitely, and we can connect if you want to hit with me up on Facebook after this. I can definitely go in a little bit more detail, but I try to keep these shows not selling stuff, so I want to keep true to that. But there are some meteorites out there that you can get that you're going to need to, like the pallasites, that you need to seal. But I have a bunch of meteorites to show you, just to educate you as well. So that's always that's always an option.
We'll connect.
Yeah, awesome. And I also want to thank you for joining. We had a really good. We had a really unique, great meeting today. We had a bunch of people from Canada out of nowhere join us. So we had like the Canadian show today. I'm actually going to title this the Canadian Hangout. So, hey guys, thank you very much, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate everyone's time and adding their knowledge to the Knowledge Bolide. Thanks a lot, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night. Have a good week, everybody.
Happy hunting.
Have a good week.
Good night.